Hi, and for task number 3, you will need to read the business process analysis document which is published on TAFE Online. And this is the document, and the document is very thorough and will save you a lot of research. It includes lots of YouTubes and that you can refer to, and also it really shows a clear way on how to produce what we are doing, and you will need to create for part task 3 and task 4. You need to create data flow diagrams. It will show within this document. It shows very clearly how the movement of data and goods are within the company. But you will need to clearly understand what is a data flow diagram, what is a data flow diagram level 0 and a data flow diagram level 1. Now these data flow diagrams that you will need to create, it is beyond the scope of this assignment tutorial to show you how, and lecture how about the business process analysis. This will be done online with your facilitator. However, what I'm going to show you here now is I'm showing you now it is the document that you will need to get familiar with in order to produce the data flow diagrams. And in chapter 3 we discussed the business process analysis tools, and particularly we are now on page number 9, and page 10 and page 11. They will show you this is a level 1 data flow diagram and this is a level 0 data flow diagram. So now what we need to do, it is to empower you on how you can create it using Microsoft Visio, or you can use of course any other software that you may be comfortable with, to produce these diagrams. Okay, so now let's go and see what we can do to help you with. And in task number 3, you are using Microsoft Visio or other suitable software to create a professional level 0 data flow diagram of the selected company as follows. 1. The diagram must show all movements of data and material to and from the company to external entities. All identified external entities are to be represented on the data flow diagram. Now remember that in task number 1 you have done an organizational chart, and with that you have produced an organizational chart that identifies all organizational departments, where possible state the number of people working in each department. Where detailed information is not available, you can make assumptions. So this, it will be very useful for you when you do the level 1 data flow diagram. But for the external entities, as you can, when you have done the stakeholder analysis, you are using as a guide the stakeholder analysis table located at page 7 of the stakeholder management reading material. You produce the company stakeholder analysis table that lists all described and describes all the stakeholders identified in the targeted company. Please note that this table must include external stakeholders, i.e. suppliers, customers, financial and other external entities. Where possible, consult some of the identified stakeholders for input of the proposed ICT infrastructure upgrade. So what really we want to grab out of here is the external entities, right? The external stakeholders. So if you have done this list completely, it will be much easier for you to complete both level 0 data flow diagram and level 1. Now we have examples within this assessment about it. This is the level 0 data flow diagram and a level 1 data flow diagram. So what we're going to do, we actually are going to look at this particular drawing a little bit more carefully. Now this drawing, it represents the World Medic Corporation. As you can see, this circle, it represents the company's environment. Anything that happens inside the company is not shown into the data flow level 0 diagram. In the level 0 diagram, it only shows the input and the output from the company to and from the external entities or the suppliers, the customers, bank, financial institutions, whatever things they may be. Now you have already identified all the external entities when you have done your stakeholder analysis. So in level 0, we only concerned with the external entities. Now as you can see in here, if that there was here, for example, the accounts department, it's not shown into the level 0 data flow diagram. All we want is the external entities. So now I'm going to wrap this up. So if you have identified other all the external entities in your stakeholder analysis, well, you need to follow something like this. Now suppose that I have identified here the suppliers, customers, right, and the banks. Suppose you need the services of a debt collector. The debt collector is an external entity, so debt collector. And what will happen between you, the debt collector, and the corporation? The corporation, the customers are not paying their bills, so it has tried with to get the money from the customers, but the customer, has either disappeared or doesn't want to pay or whatever. Well, the corporation does have no other options but to send a request to the debt collectors. Now the debt collectors will then interact with the customer, and this interaction between the debt collector and the customer is not shown into level 0 data flow diagram, because the level 0 data flow diagram is not concerned with the movement of data and goods and services or whatever between external entities, but only between external entities and the corporation. So once the debt collector gets the money from the customer, then it will send the money to the check to the corporation, and that will be the end of this transaction in its simplest form. There could be more communications between the debt collector and the corporations, and if these are standard communications, they should be listed here with an arrow, as you can see it in here, between the supplier and the corporation. Now the supplier, the corporation will place orders which are not listed here. Because this diagram is incomplete, it's only an example. So you, as the corporation, you will put an order with your suppliers, and the suppliers, as you can see, will send you goods in. Well, then you will send a payment to the suppliers. The supplier then will send you an invoice. All right. Oh, well, send the goods, will send you the invoice, and then of course you will send the payment. But there could be a lot of more passage of data and goods between the suppliers and the entity. For example, you have faulty goods that you want to send back to the supplier. So you will send to the supplier a request for an RA advice, a RA return advice number. So they will give you an RA number as a response, and then you will return the goods back to the suppliers. Then the supplier will actually send you either a refund or a credit note. Now, for those of you who are familiar with these basic business operations, then it is no-brainer. But for those of you who may not have this kind of expertise, you will need to look at the very carefully at the base knowledge file for the business processes analysis, which is available on TAFE Online, and of course your teacher will discuss this during Adobe Connect sessions. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you can do this with Visual. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside for a sec, and I'm going to launch Visual. I still have a previous one that I was doing for you. So for doing this, we will need to go up here, and we select ellipse, and we will create the company, the corporation, and you can click inside. I'm gonna call this World Medic Corporation, which is our case study, and you can increase, of course, the size, the font, whatever thing you like to do, and there you are. Now you have the World Medic Corporation. Next, we will need to do the external entities. So the external entities is shown into the base knowledge file published on WSI Online. It's made up in the form of a rectangle. So I'm going to say here suppliers. Okay, and remember that this is just a generic term that we are going to put the suppliers. So if you want to place different suppliers with different names, like for example HP, Lexmark, or whatever, then you will have to do all of this. All the external entities, communications with what is considered to be the normal practice of changes of information and material between external suppliers and the corporation has to be documented onto the level 0 data flow diagram. So I'm going to just create the first link, and I'm going to select the curved, and also this has to show it is an arrow pointing this side. So now we select the line, select the arrows, and select the right direction. As you can see now, I have a line with the direction between the suppliers and the corporation. I'm going to create another one between the supplier and between the corporation and the suppliers, and we will you right click on it and select the curved so that you can identify, and now we will go with the arrow and put the arrow in the right direction. If it doesn't show in that direction, it must be the other one, as you can see there. Now, but we need to say what is this flow. So double click onto the arrow, let's say between the corporation and the supplier, and I'm going to say these are orders, right? And these ones are goods, indicating that the corporation is ordering goods from the suppliers, and the suppliers are sending goods back. So having said that, you now need to identify all the external entities. So you will go and create a new rectangle, and if this is your customers, right, and it's present there, and if you if you have any other external entities between the deals with the corporation, well, then it has to be present onto the level 0 data flow diagram. So you create the connectors, and ensuring that the arrow points into the right direction, and I believe that will be the one. No, that's it. Okay, so you can move it the way you want it, and there you are. That will be your customers now are sending orders to you, right? And you will send goods to them. So once you have done, you just click the pointer tool, highlight the whole section. Suppose that this is the what you want. Well, then you select a copy. You will go into Microsoft Word, and you will create a new document from here, or into your existing document, and you paste it. There you are, and you have your level 0 data flow diagrams. And now we will move on to data flow diagrams level 1. A level 1 data flow diagram, it actually shows what happens inside the company rather than what happens outside the company environment. In data flow diagram level 0, as we have seen it earlier, the activities and the movement of data and goods from the external entities to the and from the corporations are represented here. So this is a visual representation to see, well, where our money goes, where our information goes, what it goes out of our company, what it comes in into our company. This represents a visual representation of all the activities, movement of data and movements of goods to and from the corporation. Now, the level 1 instead, it represents the movement of data and goods from inside the corporation. As you can see, there is no boundary here showing it because you are inside the corporation. So I'm going to look at this drawing now a little bit more carefully, and there it is. So in a way that I can actually point it out with a pen. All right, so there is an online ordering goods that is coming in. Just follow the arrow. This is the online order that has been accepted, right? It's inside the company. The web server that has accepted the orders, right, is now generates. It goes to sales, so that sales is now processes with the help of the web service. It has accepted this order. Now the goods cannot be sent automatically to the clients because the payment has to be processed, and it is processed with the help of the accounts department. Once the accounts department has authorized it, will then the system will automatically generate a work order which it has been authorized. Then the warehouse will process this order by sending, going to stores to pick up the goods, and if the goods are not in stock, a notification for back order is sent to the warehouse. Now, but if the goods are in stock, then the stock control, it is updated. If the goods are not in stock, of course the back order notification is sent. So if the goods instead have been picked and they have been completed, then the goods are shipped to the client. So these are all activities that happens from within the organization. Now I'm going to show this how it is done in Visio. So I'm going to launch Visio, and this is the previous one that I've shown it to you. So we will go and pick up in a a rectangle. If as it is explained in the basic knowledge file, there are many symbols that are being used, different symbols that are being used. There's no standard, so you can use a little circle here, or you can use a rectangle. Well, that's a single. But anyway, we use this one here for now. Okay, this will represent will represent, say, the online system, which is a process, say, of the sales department. But to make this here more simple, I'm going to go and draw now the will be the accounts department. Okay, so the order comes in, you just pick up the connector and you join the accounts department with the online ordering system. Select as a curve, and now you can click the pointer, double click on it, and you can now name the passage of the data that is coming. So this is in order, right? And of course you now need to show that the arrow is pointing into the right direction. I should have done this before, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just remove it, and I will do it again. So remember, there is a lot of trial and error. If you don't, even someone like me, that I don't use Visio, I'm familiar with the software, but I don't use it as a routine every day. So what you do, you will go and ensure that the arrow points into the right direction. Now I put it, as you can see there, I put double arrow. All I want is a single arrow going to the right. And now I double click on it and enter orders. That this is in order, orders coming in, and you can increase the font size, and notice, because I actually put it in the other direction now. So there is a lot of function here you can use with Microsoft Visio to make sure that you can produce a level 1 data flow diagram, as I've just described you, and make sure that you identify all the internal entities, the internal departments, as you have done in assessment number 1, not assessment number 1, in task number 1. Let's go and see it again. I have described into the previous video, so we will go and do that again. Into the organizational chart, all organizational department where possible state the number. So you need to produce the organizational chart that identifies all the internal departments, and we already done the level 0 data flow diagram, which identified all the external stakeholders. Okay, so with this we should have now completed section task number 3 and task number 4. Now they remain task number 5 and task number 6 to do. Okay, so we'll see you in task number 5.